This is Bill Tinglin with Tour for Tolerance, proud sponsor of this podcast series on the Holocaust. Get ready. This week we take another powerful deep dive into history's darkest hour.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep today, folks.
Diving deep.
That's right. Into a story that's really powerful, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it really got to me. You know, it's the story of Inge Auerbaucher.
Okay.
And she was a Jewish girl during the Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got these excerpts, right, from a biographical document about her life. And I kind of want to, not just, lay out the timeline, but what it must felt like to actually go through that as a child, To
live it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what really hooked me? Right away, I was just reading this. And it's just the contrast, right? Like Inge's family, before 1933, they lived a really comfortable life.
Oh, wow.
Like
how so?
Large house, servants, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, wow. Okay. So things were good.
And then wham.
It all changes.
Yeah, everything changes.
It is that contrast that really makes her story powerful, I think.
Right.
To think you're living in this, thriving Jewish community.
It's totally integrated into German society,
Right.
It's not like you feel like an outsider or anything like that. Then basically overnight, and everything flips, right?
Yeah.
That sense of security, belonging,
Yeah.
it vanishes just like that.
Yeah, it's really, I can't even imagine.
It's hard to grasp.
Yeah, totally. So let's rewind a bit, right? Back to Inge's early life.
Okay.
This is in Kippenheim. It's a small village in Germany.
Okay.
And she's an only child, part of a, religious Jewish family.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very well off, respected members of their community.
Okay.
So not really the picture that comes to mind when we typically think about, the Holocaust.
Yeah, and that's exactly why the, rise of the Nazi ideology and all the persecution that came with it, it was such a shock for so many of these families who were just completely blindsided by it.
Yeah, totally. And then comes Kristallnacht.
Oh, yeah.
The Night of Broken Glass.
This is November 1938.
Wow.
Inge is only 6 years old at this point.
Oh, my God.
6 years old.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being 6 years old and you see people attacking your home?
It's terrifying.
Windows are being smashed. Your father and your grandfather are being arrested right in front of you.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, the terror she must have felt.
It's unimaginable, really.
Yeah, and Kristallnacht, that was, a major turning point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It was this, very orchestrated wave of violence.
Yeah.
A signal that, the Nazi policy was shifting from, just discrimination to outright brutality.
Right. It was no longer just words. This was action. It was violence.
Yeah. It was a really dark turn. And for Inge, it was like the shattering of her childhood.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's gut-wrenching to read.
Mm.
The document talks about her hiding with her mom and her grandma in a shed.
Oh, gosh.
Just waiting for everything to be over.
Wow.
And it really makes you think about, the long-term psychological impact.
Oh, absolutely.
Even at that age, that's got to stick with you.
Yeah. Trauma like that at such a young age.
Yeah.
That can have lasting effects.
It's tough. And, her father and grandfather, they were released from Dachau after a few weeks.
Oh, wow.
But the trauma, it took a toll.
For sure.
Her grandfather, he was already in poor health, and he died of a heart attack shortly after. And it was probably just from the stress and the ordeal.
Right. It's it just compounds, right?
Yeah, it's just wave after wave of trauma.
One thing after another.
Yeah, and then when Inge is just 7.
7 years old?
7, they were deported to Theresienstadt.
Oh, wow.
And they were allowed to take nothing.
Nothing.
But the clothes on their backs.
Wow.
Except for one thing.
What's that?
Inge's doll, Marlene.
Wow. Okay.
How powerful is that?
Yeah.
Even in all this chaos, that doll represented something.
Yeah, that's really something.
To hold on to something familiar.
Right.
Something that represents a time before everything went crazy.
Yeah.
I can see why that doll would be so important.
Yeah, totally.
And, Theresienstadt.
Yeah.
It was a concentration camp in Czechoslovakia.
Hmm.
But the Nazis, they tried to pass it off as this model ghetto.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this place where Jewish people could live, somewhat normal lives.
It wasn't so bad.
Right. But of course, it was a lie.
Sure.
The reality was overcrowding, disease, constant hunger.
Yeah, the conditions were
brutal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And Inge's account really brings that reality to life.
Mm-hmm.
She talks about how potatoes were as valuable as diamonds in Theresienstadt.
Wow.
Think about that for a second. Potatoes. They
Yeah.
were traded and hoarded
Wow.
like they were precious gems
Right.
because they meant survival.
Yeah.
Like that was the difference between life and death.
That's incredible.
Right. Just shows how completely warped their world had become.
It highlights that desperation, right? Like just the absolute focus on basic survival. Your entire existence just boils down to, how do I get enough to eat to survive?
Yeah.
One more day,
One more day, and yet even in these conditions,
Yeah.
there were acts of defiance,
Really?
acts of love.
Wow.
It's incredible.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Inge's parents, even in Theresienstadt, they tried to make her birthday special.
Oh, wow.
So for her 8th birthday, they made this tiny little potato cake.
With what? Like a candle and everything?
I don't know about a candle, but it had a hint of sugar.
Oh, wow.
Like, can you imagine?
That's something special.
Yeah. And for her 9th birthday, they made an outfit for her doll, Marlene, from just scraps of fabric.
Wow.
And then for her 10th birthday, her mom wrote her a poem.
Oh, wow. That's so sweet.
I know, right?
Yeah.
These small acts of normalcy, of celebrating life.
Right. In the midst of just unimaginable circumstances.
That's
It really speaks to like the human spirit,
Yeah.
that enduring power of love and hope.
It's incredible. These tiny glimmers of light
Yeah.
in such darkness. And thankfully,
Yeah.
Inge and her parents, they were liberated from Theresienstadt in May 1945.
Oh, thank goodness.
And they were able to immigrate to the United States in 1946 and start rebuilding their lives.
Wow. What a journey.
Right. And, it's important to remember that Inge's story is just one
Right.
out of millions. Right.
Yeah. Countless children went through similar horrors,
Yeah.
faced unimaginable loss and trauma during the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And like Inge, so many of them showed incredible resilience, rebuilding their lives, contributing to society in such meaningful ways.
It's really inspiring. And that's why these stories, they're so crucial to hear,
Absolutely.
to learn from,
Yeah.
and to remember.
Never forget.
Yeah. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, I have to ask,
Yeah.
what do you think Inge's doll, Marlene,
Yeah.
symbolized for her? Like, what did it represent?
That's a good question.
What did it represent to this little girl? Who's facing these unimaginable circumstances?
Right.
Was it a connection to her past, a symbol of hope, or something else entirely?
That's such a powerful question.
Yeah.
It's something that each listener can kind of answer for themselves.
Yeah.
Like maybe Marlene was just a reminder that even in, the darkest times, that flicker of childhood, of innocence can still remain.
It's something to think about.
Yeah.
It really is. And we've included some additional resources in the episode description.
It's perfect.
If you want to learn more about Inge's life, or the experiences of other Holocaust survivors.
Wonderful.
So yeah, until next time, keep exploring.
Keep learning.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.